Rivalry weekend is here, and we are talking about college football, the best locks of the weekend. Tomorrow morning specifically, you can find a couple of previews on this channel. This might be the morning of Friday, Black Friday. We're going to try to get it in before all the college football games start. Tomorrow, we're going to be previewing the game, Ohio State, Michigan, and then we're also going to be touching on the Iron Bowl. Auburn hosting Alabama. Will either of those home dogs be able to pull off the upset? I'm excited to dive into that. For those of you new around here, my name is Colin Bashnigal, your host here at Bash's College Football Show. We have tapered off with Walk That Line pretty drastically. We've had some bad weeks. 3 in particular. Last week was one of them, I would say. That have kind of ruined the record this year. For the most part, on an average week, we have done pretty well, but 2 of the weeks were really disastrous. One of them was pretty bad as well, and that was last week. 6-9, looking to bounce back here. So let's get the final week of the regular season kicked off with this first lock. Utah minus 11.5 at Kansas. Look, I think that this Utah team is going to bounce back. They got a statement to be made. They played their worst game defensively of the year last week, and they still found a way to win, pull it out in the fourth quarter. I think Utah is going to come out with vengeance, and I think that they're going to be able to stomp Kansas in this game. And also, how much life does Kansas have remaining too? Georgia, I'm taking the team total over tomorrow or today, depending on when you're watching it. 37.5 versus Georgia Tech. I just don't see how this Georgia Tech team stops Georgia whatsoever, especially if Tech is able to move the ball and score. I just don't see how they end up stopping this dog's offense. North Texas, I'm taking minus 19.5 against Temple. Temple was very disappointing to me last week. I still buy what Casey Keeler is selling over there, but this North Texas team is also trying to continue their momentum forward, and they have looked really good the last month of the season, and they're going to look to end on a high note before playing in the conference championship and try to get that group of 5 bid into the college football playoff. And Eric Morris, he's going to be sticking around with this team if they do make the playoff. Indiana, minus 28 against Purdue. This Purdue team is much better. I expect for them to score a little bit. They can't stop a nosebleed still. They couldn't stop Indiana last year. This is a better Indiana team. I am taking Indiana minus 28. BYU minus 17.5 against UCF. Again, trying to make a statement, get momentum going into the Big 12 championship as well, because, yeah, they have the at-large hope. That's a little bit of a long shot. You need some stuff to happen. They control their own destiny. They need to be playing their best ball going into Dallas next week, and I think that they're going to leave no doubt against the UCF team that is completely broken right now. Missouri State, minus 1.5 versus Louisiana Tech. Now, there is a little bit of a handicap to this. You could either bank on the side that Missouri State, they've had such a successful season already, and they're trying to petition for a bowl game and all this stuff, and you could think that they're not 100% into this game. I think Louisiana Tech is a nice team to sell right now, and I think Missouri State is going to, on senior day, play some really inspired football. I'm expecting Missouri State to win this game. Tennessee minus 2.5 versus Vanderbilt. I honestly think that Tennessee could win by double digits here. Vanderbilt, to me, their defense has not been playing super well. And I think that there is a lot of familiarity here, and Vanderbilt punched them in the mouth early last year, and Tennessee still was able to pull away. That it's just Tennessee's not going to take this team lightly. This is the way to close out their season. They're not making the playoff. I think that they're going to end with a statement here. I think Tennessee could win, like I said, by double digits here and eliminate Vanderbilt from the playoff contention. Washington, I'm taking the team total under 21.5 versus Oregon. Heated rivalry. The only path to victory that Washington has is being able to shut down this Oregon offense, in my opinion. Because every time Washington has gone up against the better defenses, the stronger, more physical front sevens in the Big Ten, and Oregon is included in that category, Washington has really, really struggled to score. You're talking about outputs like 10 against Wisconsin. You're talking about 7 against Michigan, 6 against Ohio State. this Washington team struggles against the best defenses they play. And I expect for that trend to continue on Saturday. Penn State minus 13.5. And my bad, Penn State. I meant to switch out that logo. You're not UConn, though you've played like UConn a lot this year. They're playing really good ball right now, and they're playing inspired ball, trying to get Terry Smith the job. They haven't announced a head coach quite yet. And I think Rutgers is a little bit checked out as well at the moment. This is at Rutgers, by the way, so my mistake there. But Penn State minus 13.5. I think that they're going to destroy Rutgers in a similar sense that they were able to dismantle Nebraska last week. Coastal Carolina, the team total, I'm going under 14.5 against James Madison. I think this JMU team really needs a blowout to end their season, which is also why I'm going to take them minus 21.5 at Coastal Carolina. And Coastal's not a very good football team, straight up. I think James Madison's going to flex their muscle here. USF, first half, team total over 23.5. Now, I did not hit with this last week. This is going to be Alex Golesh's last go-around as the head coach here. I think that they could come out flat, but I think that a lot of these guys, there's been some continuity with the core leadership of that locker room, even if a lot of that defense in particular was patched up through transfers. Rice does play a lot of ball control, and USF does play fast, but I think USF can score quickly, and they will have opportunities. Notre Dame minus 32.5 against Stanford. I told myself at the beginning of the week, I don't care what the number is. I'm laying it with Notre Dame. They are playing as good of football as anybody in the country, and I'm expecting them to absolutely hammer the Cardinal out west. Then we got Fresno State minus 3 at San Jose State. San Jose State has been a shell of themselves lately, and this Fresno State team also matches up super well with what their identity is on the offensive side of the ball. Pound the rock, hit on explosive runs. I think they're going to be able to do that. And, you go all the way back to week 1 when San Jose State played Central Michigan. Central Michigan was able to do that without the explosive runners that Fresno State has, like, Speedy Luke over there. So I'm expecting for Fresno State to dominate this game, and we'll see if it happens. I also expect for Hawaii to dominate Wyoming. I mean, this is a good spot for Hawaii. They had a disappointing week. What was that? Last week, I think it was, right? Or was it 2 weeks ago? I can't remember. I think it was last week. Anyway, against UNLV, they're coming back home, playing on the island. They were in this situation against New Mexico, who was a very bad team, just like Wyoming is. And sure enough, they were able to throttle them, throw the ball around the yard. I think Wyoming's not going to be able to keep up with the speed on the outside, and Wyoming's a terrible, terrible road team. So I am expecting for Hawaii to cover 8.5. So there you have it. Those are the locks for the week. You can go back and look at it. I'll just replay this list real quick. Utah minus 11.5. Georgia team total over 37.5. North Texas minus 19.5. Indiana minus 28. BYU minus 17.5. Then we got Missouri State minus 1.5. Tennessee minus 2.5. Washington team total under 21.5. Penn State minus 13.5. And then we got Coastal Carolina, their team total under 14.5. James Madison lay it with the 21.5. USF first half team total. We're going right back with it at 23.5. Notre Dame minus 32.5. Fresno State minus 3. And Hawaii minus 8.5. That's what we're taking here on this rivalry week. Going a little bit away from the traditional rivalries. And we're going to talk about some more of those tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune in for that. Like the video if you made it this far, and clown me in the comments if this is terrible.